right, we are live, making sure we're live here. If we are live, welcome to another episode of Pencil Leadership. I'm Chris Anderson. Excited to have Mike Ashabi on the line today. Mike Ashabi is the CEO, of True Life Ventures. And I'm going to introduce him using an article because I think it's so cool that was written in Yahoo Finance just this month about the top entrepreneurs that inspire us in 2020. And so it says there are a few people with the energy of Mike Ashabi, the founder and CEO of True Life Ventures. He is well known in the coaching industry as one of the top life and business coaches in the U.S. Now, he works directly hand to hand with entrepreneurs, business owners, and startups to help them build strategies for sustainable and scaling, ensuring his clients reach their goals and increase their business growth by at least 40% month after month. Today, Mike continues to impact hundreds of lives through his company, True Life Ventures. Mike, welcome to Pencil Leadership, man.
Thanks, Chris, for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem. I'm super excited to have you on. Very grateful for your time. I know you're a busy guy. I think you said you had to drive about 18 hours after this. So
Yes,
thanks for starting that trip off here talking to me. So
not a problem. It's my pleasure, man.
I would love to hear more about True Life Ventures, what you do, and how you assist different people.
Definitely, man. So True Life Ventures, we're a life coaching, business coaching, and I don't like to use this word so much, one-stop shop for entrepreneurs and business owners, or in other words, what I like to call it, the one connection network to building a business. So why I started True Life Ventures is because over the last few years, what I've come to realize is that, a lot of top entrepreneurs are just selling their strategies on what made them successful.
Mm.
And, something I took notice on is that what works for one person doesn't work for another. People don't have the same tools, resources, or financial abilities as another person does.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I kind of wanted to change the game, because I wanted to get directly involved with my clients, learn about their situation and where they want to go, and develop strategies with them that they can effectively execute within the means of the tools, resources, and financial abilities that they have. Now, another big thing that I took notice on is how many times do you hear people buy courses and they don't use them?
Right.
So many times. And that actually bothered me because I was always asking for help and never receiving it, like dumping money into courses and, just not really getting the result I wanted.
Yeah.
So a big thing that I implement with my clients is an accountability calendar.
Awesome.
They know when I'm checking in with them to make sure that they're hitting their targets, getting them closer to their goals every single day. Because I'm very, very big on results. If you're not, if you're paying for something, you got to get the result, man.
Yeah.
You can't just constantly be dumping money into stuff and just, sitting there waiting and not seeing anything happen. So I'm very big on results because not only is it beneficial for me, because like I will, be the person who, can say, hey, look, I made a bunch of millionaires, but not only that is I'm actually providing value to someone's life. Ensuring that they're getting that result, which is going to help them feel fulfilled because they're achieving something, and that's going to create happiness.
Awesome.
Fulfillment, there's no happiness.
Right. I love that. I love that position you're coming from of wanting to get on people's levels, like you said, because you saw so many people sharing what made them successful and kind of cookie cutter programs. But you're getting more personal with it. And so that's really neat. And I know we were talking, and I wonder, because we all are different, we all have different experiences and help guide us to where we are. And we were talking before that you had a life experience or a life event that kind of directed your path a little bit to get to where you are. I would love for you to expand on that if you would.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, first things first, before I even started in this industry, I thought it was complete bullshit. Excuse me, I don't know if I can curse here, but I'm just being transparent, man.
Yeah.
I thought it was complete BS.
Yeah.
Everyone was always telling me, hey, you got to start doing this to have the life that you want. And I would always hear like all these, speakers and motivational speakers, and I would just kind of brush it off and, not pay attention to it, because I thought it was just like, hey, they're just trying to, sell me what they're talking about, and it's not going to do anything for me because everyone knows the stuff, but they don't implement it into their life, you
Right.
know?
Mm-hmm.
That's why knowledge is nothing without action.
I love it.
So it took me to hit an all-time low,
Mm,
a breakup.
gotcha.
At that point, I was 21 in college. Well, I was a college dropout,
Mm,
and you know, I thought I was gonna marry this girl. I was finally getting to that point where I was looking at my life having an impact on someone else's life and realizing that it was bigger than just me. And I was still, doing dumb stuff, and partying, smoking pot. I'm
yeah.
3 years now. And I thought I really had it together until this breakup happened.
Mm,
Once that happened, I was personally telling myself I was never going to hit that point in my life. And knowing what it felt to hit that point, telling yourself you're not going to, it's a game changer.
yeah.
You see the other side. And something that Evan Carmichael told me was your ruin is your gift to give back to the world.
I love that.
And seeing that I was able to hit that position, telling myself I wasn't going to, made me realize other people are going through the same thing. So I wanted to be a voice for other people who are going through a similar situation to help them realize their own self-worth and realize
Yeah.
that they can create the future that they want, no matter what position they're in or their
Yeah.
situation.
I love that. And that's so true. I mean, because we don't have control over a lot of circumstances that we go through or the cards we're dealt, as people have heard. And so we have to play those cards and we have to do the best we can. And I think that quote from Evan Carmichael, "Your ruin is your gift back to the world." I think that's so true because we make we make of all our negativity or all the hardships what we want. We can either wallow and just stay in that pity party phase, or we can change our mindset and our vision and use that somehow to get back. Kind of like with my story, the same way. It's just with depression and the suicidal thoughts and everything. Using that now to talking to people's lives, I think is so huge. Almost curse can become a blessing in other people's lives.
Lesson in disguise, man.
Yeah,
It's
I love
not
that.
what happens to you in life, it's how you react to what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Reaction to things that happen is key because we have control over that.
Definitely. And it's actually funny because I used music quite a bit to help
Mm,
me, get out of my position.
yeah.
One line that stuck with me, Eminem, I'll tell you, he helped me out so much, I'm not gonna lie. But there was one line that he says, if you don't like the cards that you were dealt, then go fishing.
Yeah,
And it's like you really have the power in your hands to determine what your future is going to be. It doesn't matter what your
yeah,
past is. It's really about what you do from today forward that will create your future. It's not about you,
absolutely.
it's about what you do today.
Yeah, one step at a time, and it's how we have our mindset too. Because we just focus on the negative. So many times you see people they're just focusing on all the negative stuff that happens. That then more negative stuff just keeps happening to them because they get on that frequency and they just continue in that. So yeah, I
Well,
think
man, that's how humanity is programmed.
yeah.
I mean, the media, it's all negative, and
Mm-hmm.
people are attracted to that negative because for example, let's say someone does something and they're highlighted in like an article or something.
Yeah,
They're looking at that. Okay, I'm not that person, so they're not super happy about it.
yeah,
If there was a car accident outside, all of a sudden everyone stops to look. Everyone's attention is on it.
yeah,
Because it's just, as humans, we are drawn to negative situations
yeah.
to put attention to it.
Yeah. And that's why, I mean, I try to stay away from news and
Me
things
too.
like that because it's all just so negative and it's just, and even if I don't watch it, I just have it on. It's still subconsciously like you're hearing it. It's still getting in there. And so, yeah.
Well, man, they say what you surround yourself with is what you become.
Yeah.
So it's not only like, for example, Dan Penna has that quote, "Show me your friends, I'll show you your future."
Yep.
Not only the people you surround yourself with, it's the music, it's what you're watching on TV, it's what
Yeah.
you're intaking, because it's not only your physical environment, it's your mental environment as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. What you tune into, you turn into. And so,
Exactly.
yeah, the more negative we let into our system, that's why, I mean, the Bible says you got to protect your heart, protect your mind and your thoughts. And so, I think it's so crucial that
I'm very picky on
yeah,
what I let
yes,
around me. Music and
absolutely.
everything. Don't get me wrong, sometimes you gotta listen to some, change it up a little bit, have a little,
Right.
but when you're constantly in that, it will become your reality.
Yep.
And that's why there's a lot of, crime and things like that because people are constantly listening to this music and it's just like they don't realize the impact that it's having on their life that they are becoming what they're listening to. It
Yeah, absolutely. I think,
becomes
and I,
normal.
yeah, I listen to Bob Proctor a lot. So like he talks about mindset and paradigm shifts and everything. And if you don't know who Bob is, you got to check him out because it'll blow your mind at what you're learning from and how it can change everything. So
Definitely check out Bob.
yeah, absolutely. And so how did you transition from the low of low and realizing that you have to take the positive steps to building True Life Ventures now from that?
So it's actually an interesting story. It wasn't my initial plan to start True Life Ventures after I
Okay.
hit my all-time low. When I hit that position, I knew that I wanted to create an impact.
Mm,
I wanted to help others with something that I went through.
yeah.
And my whole thought process was let me get around the people that are currently doing what I want to do, learn the ins and outs of it, and then go eventually do it myself.
Yeah.
So the way I started was I used my pain to gain everything. No pain,
Mm,
gain.
yeah.
I I'm telling you, man, I was in a bad position to the point where I completely separated from everyone.
Mm,
Sat there and really looked at my situation and realized what I'm doing in my current situation is not getting me the life that I wanted.
yeah.
So it really took me to disengage from everything. It was about, I would say, 9 months where, because I was in college up in Vermont and
Okay.
came home, and then that's when I started making the changes. I separated from my friends. I sat there probably for 3 months at first, just bawling my eyes out,
Yeah. Yeah.
really like looking at my situation, just like, where did I go wrong? And when I started thinking about where did I go wrong, I started realizing that it was the things I was doing.
Mm,
And I started looking at it, how can I get the life that I want with what I have in front of me?
yep.
So after the 3 months of sitting there complaining and not getting anything from that, I started working. All right. So I was a college dropout, unemployed, smoking pot, um, literally $0 in the bank.
Man.
I went from that to starting to work 6 days a week, 12-hour day, working for a tree removal company,
Jeez.
manual labor. And I'm a skinny dude.
I
About
understand.
me
I'm with
just
you.
climbing trees, lifting up these huge logs. Like I was putting myself through that pain. I did it purposely because at that point is when I realized, hey, look, if you don't do this now, you're still going to be doing the same thing 30 years from now.
Yep.
I put myself in that position. I started working 6 days a week. I started, working 12-hour days, coming home, and then reading. Reading changed my life, man. They always
Yeah.
used to say, read, knowledge is power,
Yeah.
which only halfway of the truth, but
Yeah.
into it.
Yep.
So I came home, started reading, and I started teaching myself finance. I was like, my biggest thing is in order to create the life I want, I need financials.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I started getting interested into finance.
Okay.
After about a year, well, 10 months, almost a year, at that point, I started applying to financial institutions for a financial consultant position. I finally got a position in a financial institution where I'm sponsored for a Series 7, and I was on my way there. I was the only person without a college degree. Everyone else went to NYU, Penn State, and I'm the only person there did not have a college degree. The way I did that, I listened to Les Brown, and
Nice.
he was always saying, show up, don't take no for an answer. So I actually went into a financial institution with my resume, and I was like, I really want a job. They were looking at me like, are you crazy? You just brought me here. Why didn't you just email it? And I was like, because I'm taking this serious. So they actually had me come in for an interview a week later.
That's awesome.
In that interview, they knew that I knew what I was talking about because I was studying this day and night. What I was, reading at night, or while I was working, I was listening to podcasts about finance. I was just
Mm,
constantly taking in all the information. They saw that I knew what I was talking about. At that point, I got a position, and it was about 5 months that I was there. I was getting sponsored to get my Series 7 when at that point I got an even bigger connection from someone I was working with, someone who was attached to one of my idols, not really so much anymore. I don't want to, say any names.
Yeah.
But at that point I took that, and that's where I finally got from A to Z with what is needed to open up my own business.
That's awesome.
I learned everything on how to start a business, put a company into complete production by myself, and I did it for free for 10 months.
Wow. Why did you do it for free for 10 months?
Because when I was doing it, I thought it was going to get me an opportunity to go work for the person who I was looking up to.
Yeah.
I understood that you got to have sacrifice. So it wasn't about the money for me. It was about the knowledge that I was obtaining, which is way more valuable because now I was able to go and implement that into my own situation and create true ventures.
That's awesome.
Not only that, plus all the connections I was able to get. Way more valuable than the money to me.
Yeah. So even though it might not have worked out as far as like what you expected it to be in the end, it's still, you could still see the silver lining from what came from it for sure.
It was a blessing in disguise, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I still think go ahead.
No, it's all you.
Well, I was going to say, I loved just the whole process you went to get to that, like just going to that facility and just like, I want a job here. Like it makes me think of Think and Grow Rich. When Barnes went to work with Edison, he like demanded it. And so like that's pretty cool. It takes those leaps of faith and those big moves to change anything.
Well, man, the way you got to look at it is in order to get the things that people don't have that they want, you have to be willing to do what they're not willing to do.
Yep.
You have
Absolutely.
to think outside the box. Okay. Think about it. Everyone is sending resumes, through email.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to stand out? Put your face in front of theirs.
Yeah.
Show them, hey, this is exactly what I want. I'm serious about it. I'm committed, which actually didn't work out when I was trying to get the position with the person I was looking up to. And that's what cut me off because that's exactly what he was preaching.
Huh. Interesting.
Exactly. So that's kind of why I started True Life Ventures. It's in the name. True Life Ventures. Create transparency in the industry. I want to create opportunities for people, I want to create opportunities for people who really want them, that will go out of their way to actually get them. I don't want to shun people away for doing exactly what I'm preaching.
Yeah. No, I think that's a very, very valid point that we need to be transparent. I mean, that's the best way because we're all in this together. We're all humans. We're all just flesh and blood. I mean, some people just have a bigger stage right now, but we're all in this together. And so.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. The people who have the bigger stage that aren't practicing what they're preaching, karma's a bitch. It's going to come out.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
what you give out is what will come back to you.
Yeah.
And the person who's going to go and try to expose it, but like it will come out over time.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's true. I think that's why it's in how we do anything is how we do everything. And so eventually, I mean, you can't hide that forever. What is in the dark will come to light. And so it's just a matter of time with that. So yeah, I think it's like my friend said, kind of with going back to what you said about having to be outside the box, doing things that people aren't thinking about doing is they would say that only dead fishes go with the flow, and you're not a dead fish. So you got to do something different to stand out. And so, yeah, I think just being creative, I think, is a big part of that.
Exactly. I mean, you got to look at it like this, man. Once again, the reason why people aren't doing what other people won't is because they get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
The only way that you're going to grow is getting through that, uncomfortable situation. So you have to discipline yourself in order to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah. And it's almost like fear kind of is the same kind of ballpark is when we get afraid of something, afraid of what might happen or what people might say, it stops us from our potential. And so if we can step past that fear, our, we can really like raise the bar, and then it's gonna be a new fear, and then we're
Well, I
just
don't
gonna
believe
keep
in
going through it.
fear.
Yeah,
It's all
no,
made up.
yeah,
It's all made up. It's yourself telling,
yeah,
like, self-doubt.
right. I agree
And
with that.
do you know what the fear cycle is?
I don't know, enlighten me.
Okay, so I'll quickly run through it with you. So first of all, as a child, what is the biggest thing
Mm,
that, what is our survival mechanism at that point? Learning.
yep.
And as a kid, first 12 years of life is when self-esteem is built. And
Mm-hmm.
around that time, your family. So that's
Yep.
all projected onto you. You're learning how to disengage. So with the fear cycle, it's really just you disengaging from the bigger picture.
Mm,
Fear leads into disengagement, and that could be consciously or unconsciously. Same thing, for example, let's say you have a hot stove and you put your hand there. Conscious is just, a natural habitat because it's a survival mechanism.
yeah.
Just like how you learn how to instill fear in yourself.
Yeah.
So fear leads into disengagement, which leads into loss.
Mm,
You're not fully present
yeah.
because you have the ability to, progress and contribute, but you're not because you're disengaged. You're
Mm,
not fully there. So after you hit loss, what does that create? Addiction.
mm,
Addiction is filling in the gap. Okay, for example, you can go to the bar, go hang out with your friends,
mm.
filling that time with something else to do,
Else. Yeah.
avoid the bigger picture. What does that lead into? Grumpiness. You know why? Because how many times do you have someone who's always just like, I don't have time? You only have time for the things that you want to have time for,
Yep.
something that's important to you. So when you're filling in the gap, you're avoiding that pain of, going through the motions and, doing what you need to get your dreams accomplished.
Yeah.
So it's literally just filling in the gap, which goes into grumpiness.
Yeah.
And what does that do? Goes right back to fear because it's putting a stall on your dreams.
Yep.
That's why you're angry, and then you don't want to feel that again, and it goes right back to fear, disengagement, loss, addiction, grumpiness.
Yeah.
It's just a cycle.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree about being a cycle. And I never had heard that. And I like that analogy. And I see fear as like a mental thing, like it's something we create in our mind. But I also think that we can use it once we practice getting out of that cycle as a way to propel us forward. So
100%.
if you have a fear of having bad health, you can either let that scare you and keep you from growing or doing anything, or you can use that as a catalyst to do more exercise, watch your diet, what you're eating, your nutrition, and things like that. And so then you can propel yourself up that way, and just how you think on it.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that I am fearful of.
Mm,
Regret.
mm,
It's not about, everyone always says you can either be fearful of succeeding or failure. And the way I look at it is, what if, you don't try? What if you don't know?
yep.
I don't want to go through life and then, realize all this unfulfilled potential, went to waste.
Yeah.
Like that's a big thing that hit me when I hit my all-time low because I was looking at my life. I was just like, what am I doing? I'm
Yeah.
in the same room with the same people every single day, smoking pot, having the same conversations, the same music. What purpose is there in that?
Yeah.
I am living. I have life, but I'm not living it.
Yeah.
I'm literally a dead fish at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I think that's a good point. I mean, because if we don't realize like we only have one life, and people say you only live once, and I find that true. And I've always heard it say, you only die once, you live every day, or I hope you do at least. But if you're just stuck in that cycle, then and nothing's changing, it's almost like you are, which is a sad reality.
Most
If we're
people aren't living.
Yeah, it's like Oh, what movie is it about? Oh, Braveheart, right? Have you seen Braveheart?
I don't watch TV.
It's a movie, Braveheart, about William Wallace, and he says, every man dies, but not every man truly lives. And it is true. I mean, we go through the motions of what we're programmed. Get up, go to work for somebody for 8 to 10 hours a day, come home, maybe get stuff done at the house, eat, watch TV because I've been on my feet all day and I need to sit and watch TV, go to bed and repeat just to get to the weekend to, well, I'm so tired from the work week, I'm not going to do anything else. And the cycle continues. And it's
It's just
programmed.
like Gary Vaynerchuk says, if you're the weekend, you're already lost.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's why I love his whole thing that he loves Mondays, as well as Eric Thomas, TGI. God, it's Monday.
Yep.
I call it Monday, Motivation Monday.
Yep.
You know, like,
yeah,
it's just, I hate the weekends because it's just everyone is waiting for the weekend.
Yeah.
Just to sit there and do the same exact shit. Excuse
yeah.
my language. Like,
yeah.
what is the point of it? Like,
It's like now living and changing my career path now with network marketing and with my coaching business. Like now I almost forget what day it is because I'm living every day. And so nothing's different. Like I can just live.
Yeah.
And connect with people. Yeah, just forgetting what day it is because I'm just living.
I think I lost connection there for a second.
Okay. I think we're back on, hopefully.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, if you know what day it is, you're paying attention to the wrong things.
Yeah. Right. I know. Because I used to be confused.
Everyone's confused about the date with the whole quarantine thing. I was confused about the date for the last year and a half.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy when your mindset changes and when you really are living, like you don't worry about, oh, tomorrow's Monday, even, and nothing against 9 to 5, nothing. You could love your job and love doing what you're doing. You're excited for Monday. But I mean, we still have to focus. Like if we're not growing, then what are we doing? Like life's too short to be the same through the whole thing. We're meant to grow and create.
I think that goes back to basically finding your purpose and knowing why.
Yep.
And that's something I really focus on in my coaching.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people don't realize it, but what happens in your personal life really does affect you in your professional life.
Yeah.
And that's why I combined life coaching and business coaching into one, because I want you to make sure that you understand the correlation between the two. If you don't, you're just focusing on business, you're not going to be fulfilled. You can have all the money in the world, you will still be unhappy if you're not being fulfilled in your personal life.
Right.
Versa. You could be super happy in your personal life but not have any money coming in, then you're constantly stressing about the finances.
Yeah.
You're still going to be unhappy.
Yeah. It's crazy. Everything's basically connected. It all is connected. And so
I love that you said that.
Yeah. We got to focus on ourselves first and make sure we're in the right position. Like I was talking to my buddy earlier today, and we're like, sometimes we know like we're focusing so much on business because we want to help so many people that our lives, like our workout schedules or our time to read is infringed on. And we're like, that's not, if we continue that up, it's going to then influence our business negatively because we're not pouring in ourselves, taking care of ourselves.
Well, it's the same thing. Like when you go on a plane, they always tell you, help yourself first before you help someone else, because if you can't help yourself, how are you going to put yourself in a position to help someone else?
Absolutely.
Breathe when the plane's going down. How are you going to help someone else, put a mask on to breathe?
For sure. Yeah, no. So it kind of was a reminder to me, like, yeah, I got to pour into me first, so I'm filled up enough to pour out to other people and help them. And so people are like, oh, that's selfish. I'm like, no, it's actually not, because if I'm empty, I'm not doing anyone any good, and then I'm almost going against what I'm trying to help other people do.
It's selfish not putting yourself in a position to help others.
Right.
When it's all about you, then you're being selfish.
Yeah.
That's why I'm super big on, I don't even look at True Life Ventures as me. Look at it, the purpose within it is other people,
Right.
their results.
Yep.
I don't focus on my results. I worry about how can I ensure their results.
Yeah, for
That's going to
sure.
ensure my own results.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I mean, we talked about, we reap what we sow.
Exactly.
And so if we're not sowing anything good, why should we even deserve to have anything good? And so, yeah, I know we're all imperfect and everything, but I mean, we can do our best to make a positive and leave a positive mark, um, for the world, you know?
Man, it's bigger than just us.
Yeah, which kind of ties me into, I always try to, towards the end of the show, ask the guests a couple questions, one or two depending. Um,
If,
and so the first one is, it goes along with the first trait of pencil leadership, and that's the fact that we have to be held as a pencil. Pencils have to be held to be able to leave a mark. So like us, we have to be humbled enough to learn from people who have been there, done that. Do you have one or two that stand out in your mind that have been great mentors that have taught you a lot along your journey?
well, I had one that showed me what not to do.
Yeah, we won't have to name names on that. We won't.
Yeah. I'll tell you two biggest, I'll give you three.
Okay.
Trent Shelton, super genuine, humble guy. Love him.
Awesome.
He showed
Awesome.
me what it is to realize your own self-worth.
Awesome.
And really realize that the people around you, you know, who you surround yourself with should be there providing value to.
Mm.
You know, if they're not providing value to you, what, and vice versa, you
Yeah.
know, what is the purpose of the relationship? The way I look at it, every single relationship should be based off of two things. The prerequisite to any relationship, inspiration and support.
Mm.
You don't have one or the other. What's the purpose of it?
Yep.
Okay, you know, let's go hang out. Let's go have a beer. You know, like there's
Yeah.
no purpose behind it.
Yep.
Shelton is number one.
Okay.
David Meltzer, another great, genuine guy right there. That guy provides value anywhere I see him, whether
That's
it's
awesome.
on YouTube, Instagram. He's all about giving a hand before asking for one. And I love that. That's how I am too.
That's awesome.
Three, gotta say it, legend, Les Brown, man.
Yep.
He's the
Absolutely.
one who made me realize that, you know, the biggest thing that I should fear is the fear of regret.
Mm.
I don't want to go through my life and then end up on my deathbed, like he always says, with all the unfulfilled potential just surrounding you, looking at you, saying, "We're dying with you."
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
At the end and say, "Wow, okay, I've really helped people feel fulfilled, become happy, and live true financial freedom."
Yeah.
And I can touch upon real quick. I know, I'm sorry, I'm just
No, you're good. It's good.
So it's actually funny because the mentor that I don't want to say his name,
Yeah.
that I look up to, constantly preaching financial freedom.
Mm.
Now I know people working for him making phenomenal money.
Yeah.
You know, $800,000-900,000 a year. Now, the people working for him, they might have the financial part down. They don't have the freedom. They're still someone else's schedule.
Yep.
And the way I look at my business, anyone who comes in, I don't want you working for me forever. I want you to come in, learn the ins and outs, and then go take that knowledge that you obtained working for me and go apply it to something that you're passionate about.
Right.
Because I want you to create your own financial freedom, true financial freedom. The only way to obtain true financial freedom is to create your own empire.
Yeah, that's true. Because I mean, yeah, if not, you're working for somebody else. And it's like the quote I heard, and I can't remember who said it, but it said, "Well, what happens if we empower and we teach our employees and they leave?" And it goes, "Well, what if we don't teach them to be leaders and empower them and they stay?"
Well, once again, that goes back to you're just thinking about yourself at that point.
Yeah.
You have to look at it, how can I impact someone else's life to be greater, and you know, also have them be able to be in a position to put everything that they have out on the table for someone else.
Yep. It's just making the world a better place.
Exactly. We got to start creating leaders, not bosses. Bosses know what to do, and you know, they're going to be super selfish. It's all about them.
Yeah.
Every conversation you're in with them, it always turns back to them.
Right.
A real leader, when something's going wrong with their employee, they will actually get involved in their situation, find out what's going on, and try to guide them in a way that they can come out stronger.
Mm. Yeah,
And
no, I agree.
employees, and you actually have their back, and they see that, it's going to go a long way rather than, the boss who's getting shit talked behind his
Yeah,
back left or right. It's like, no, like you have their back, they will have your back.
yeah. No, I love that. Yeah, because it's just like in war, you hear about generals and people like who are true leaders, and their people would go to the ends of the earth and die for him. But then you have the one leaders that people are like, I'm not going to go fight for him. He can, kind of thing. But which kind of brings me to, so the last question I'll ask you today, and it ties into the fifth trait of pencil leadership is that we're here to leave a positive mark. A pencil's made to leave a mark, a good mark, and we're here to leave a positive mark as well. So after everything is said and done here for you on Earth, what is one thing that you hope is left that people learn from you? Your mark.
It's bigger than just yourself.
Love it.
I don't want people to remember me. I want people to remember, you know, just anything that you do,
Mm-hmm.
people around you. How's it going to impact them? What good are you doing with your life that will help others?
Mm.
It's not about me, man.
Yeah.
I'm I've seen those people and it bothers me just because
Yeah.
like I'm not even joking. That's just the impact that I'm trying to make because it bothers me seeing people really out there just for themselves when we're all on this planet together.
Mm-hmm.
We have to come together and provide value to one another. Without that, the human, mentality is gone.
Right.
Like we're human. We have to act as we care.
Yeah.
Not on it, but like actually care.
True. No, I love that. I love it's not about me. You gotta the impact you have should be remembered, but it shouldn't be you in the limelight. So I love that. Mike, again, thank you so much for being on Pencil Leadership today. Is there any way people can reach out or connect with you?
Definitely. So you can actually follow me on Instagram at Mike Ashabi. If you want to shoot me an email, you need help with anything, Mike Ashabi at AshabiVentures.com. And anyone who needs help, just wants advice or anything, feel free to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to help any way I can.
Awesome, Mike. And that information will also be in the show notes, guys. So check it out, connect with them. Genuine guy looking to help people. So Mike, thank you again so much.
Appreciate you having me on, man.